Welcome to the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery.
Okay, so have you ever been in one of those brainstorming meetings
Mm-hmm.
where you have this great idea,
Right.
but you just can't seem to, get a word in edgewise? It's like all those voices just kind of
Yeah, they all kind of drown you out.
drown you out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's so frustrating.
It really is. And it's actually a pretty common problem.
I bet it is.
Yeah. Way more than people think.
I can see how that could really stifle a team's creativity,
Oh, absolutely.
if you're not getting all those ideas out there.
Yeah, you're missing out on so much potential.
Well, today we're diving into a technique.
Okay.
It's called 1, 2, 4, all.
1, 2, 4, all.
Okay. And it's specifically designed to make sure that everyone in a group gets a chance to share their ideas
Oh, I like that.
and contribute meaningfully.
Interesting. So it's kind of like a structured way of brainstorming.
It is. It's actually part of a broader set of tools
Mhm.
called liberating structures.
I've heard that term before, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah, it's all about making meetings more effective
Okay.
and encouraging participation.
Right. So instead of having just a few people dominate the conversation,
Exactly.
everybody gets a chance to be heard.
That's the goal.
And it makes sense, I mean, from a fairness standpoint,
Uh-huh.
but also I bet there's some research to show that,
What?
when you get more perspectives,
Oh, yeah.
you probably come up with more creative and innovative solutions.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So how does this 1, 2, 4 all magic work?
Well, it's actually pretty simple.
Okay.
It's like a structured conversation that unfolds in stages.
Okay.
So you start with a minute
All right.
of solo time.
Just to yourself?
Yeah, to think about a specific question or challenge.
So instead of immediately jumping into brainstorming, you kind of pause.
Exactly.
Everyone gets a minute to gather their thoughts.
Right. It's like planting seeds
I like that.
before you try to grow a garden.
That's a great analogy.
You need that initial quiet time
Yeah.
for ideas to kind of germinate.
I can see how that would be especially helpful for people
Uh-huh.
who maybe are a little shyer
Right.
or need a little time to process
Exactly, to formulate their thoughts.
before they speak up.
Yeah, it gives everyone a chance to get on the same page.
But then what happens after that initial reflection?
So then you pair up with someone
Okay.
to share your thoughts
Okay.
and build on each other's ideas.
So it's kind of like
It's like a mini brainstorming session.
with just 2 people.
Yeah, but with like a built-in accountability partner.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, you're not just thinking on your own. You're
No.
bouncing ideas off of somebody else.
But I am curious, with just 2 people,
Yeah.
does that potentially limit the creativity of the process?
Oh, that's a great question.
Yeah. Would a more free-flowing brainstorming session
Right, like everybody just shouting out ideas.
be more, I don't know, organic?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And it's true that sometimes
Mm-hmm.
those kind of spontaneous brainstorming sessions can lead to unexpected breakthroughs.
Yeah.
But remember, the 1, 2, 4 all method isn't trying to eliminate spontaneity.
Right.
It's more about
Okay.
creating a foundation of inclusivity
Gotcha.
and making sure that everyone's voice gets heard
Before
you move into that more free-flowing discussion.
So it's kind of like setting the stage
Exactly.
for a more productive and inclusive brainstorming session later on.
You got it, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's like you're setting the stage so then everybody's voice can be heard.
That's a good way to put it.
And then in the next stage, you take those refined ideas
Okay.
and you join another pair.
All right.
So now you're in a group of 4.
Okay, so the 2 pairs merge.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Now you're getting even more perspectives.
Right.
And that can really help,
Mm.
strengthen your ideas.
I imagine it's kind of like,
Mhm.
one of those cooking shows where they keep adding ingredients and tasting as they go.
Yes, constantly refining the flavor.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's a great analogy.
Okay, so we've got our groups of 4.
Right.
To know what?
So in the last stage,
Okay.
each group of 4
Mm-hmm.
shares a few key insights.
With the whole team.
With the whole team, yeah.
So it's not about presenting every single idea that came up.
Right.
It's more about kind of capturing those themes
Exactly.
that really resonated.
And the things that you can actually take action on.
The actionable steps.
Exactly.
So it's really distilling the collective wisdom of the group.
Yes, and making sure that those gems
Right.
don't get lost in the shuffle.
Right, because sometimes you have that one great idea,
Yeah.
but it just kind of gets
It gets buried.
buried under everything else.
Yeah, and this way it makes sure that those really promising ideas
Mm-hmm.
get the attention they deserve.
I can see how that would lead to more buy-in from the group too,
Absolutely.
because everyone's been involved in the process.
from the very beginning.
So they're more likely to, I don't know.
To support it, yeah.
Yeah.
To feel ownership of it.
To support it, see it through.
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. So where could we use this 1, 2, 4 all method? Is it just for team meetings or?
I mean, the possibilities are pretty much endless.
Okay.
Think about using it after a presentation to gather feedback.
Interesting.
Instead of that, kind of standard.
Any questions?
Any questions.
Yeah, which no one ever asks.
Yeah, and you usually just get like 1 or 2 hands going up.
Right, and it's always the same people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But with this method, you'd get so much more.
Yeah.
Like a much richer understanding.
Right, of how it landed with people.
Of what resonated with the audience.
And it would be so much more engaging for them, too.
Absolutely.
Instead of just passively listening.
Right, they're part
of the process.
They're actively processing the information and making connections.
You're turning a presentation into a conversation almost.
Exactly. It's like an active learning opportunity.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
You could also use it to kick off a new project or initiative.
Okay, yeah.
Instead of just, coming in.
Dictating from the top down.
Dictating orders from the top.
Right.
You could use the 1, 2, 4 to really get everyone involved.
In defining the goals.
In defining the goals and brainstorming solutions.
So it's really a way to make sure that everyone has a voice.
Yeah, it levels the playing field.
And it helps teams break out of those ruts.
Absolutely.
Where it's always the same people talking.
Right, you get those same old perspectives.
Right, yeah, and you miss out on all that.
All that fresh thinking.
Yeah.
All the unique perspectives.
And that's when the real magic happens.
That's when the magic happens. You get diversity of ideas.
That you would never have uncovered otherwise.
That you never would have thought of on your own.
It's so interesting to me that something so simple
I know.
Can have such a profound impact.
It's amazing, isn't it?
On group dynamics.
Yeah, and it's not just about getting more ideas.
Right.
It's about creating a more inclusive environment.
Where everyone feels valued.
Where everyone feels heard.
And heard.
And that feeling of being heard, that can be incredibly powerful.
It can be.
For people. It can be really validating.
Yeah, when people feel like their contributions matter.
Like they're actually contributing.
They're more likely to be engaged. More motivated.
Yeah.
And really invested in the success of the team.
It's not just about the task at hand.
No.
It's about building that trust and rapport.
It's about building relationships.
And that shared sense of purpose.
Exactly.
I think what's really interesting about this is that it aligns with that whole idea of psychological safety.
Right, yeah.
Where people feel safe.
To speak their mind.
To contribute.
Yeah.
Without fear of being judged.
Without fear of being shut down. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So when you create that safe space, people are more willing to share those ideas, even the ones that might seem
a little out there,
a little
like that's rizzy.
Right, but sometimes those are the ones that lead to the most innovative breakthroughs.
Absolutely. Those are the game changers.
Yeah, so in a way, this 1, 2, 4 all method, it's more than just a technique.
Right.
It's almost a philosophy.
It's a way of thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, a way of approaching group work.
That prioritizes
inclusion,
collaboration,
and respect.
And respect for every individual's voice.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's recognizing that everyone has something valuable to offer and creating a structure that allows those contributions to surface.
To flourish, to really come to life.
If you've ever been in that meeting where you felt unheard or dismissed.
I know that feeling.
It can be so discouraging.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah, this method kind of flips the script.
It does.
Empowering each individual to participate in a meaningful way.
And it gives everyone a sense of ownership.
Yeah, so it's not just about the leader or the facilitator.
Exactly.
It's about shared leadership.
It's a shared responsibility.
Right. And I love that you don't need any special training or fancy tools to use it.
No, you don't need any.
It's so accessible.
Fancy software or expensive consultants.
Right.
It's just a shift in mindset.
And a commitment to creating that more inclusive space.
Exactly. It's about creating the right conditions.
For collaborative thinking.
For collaborative thinking, yeah.
And here's a little pro tip for you.
Okay.
You can actually use 1, 2, 4 all multiple times in a row.
Oh, interesting.
To really dive deep into a topic.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So you could use it multiple times.
Yeah, like in a single meeting.
In a single meeting.
You could start with a broad question.
Okay.
And then use those insights.
On first round.
Yeah, from that first round.
To formulate a more focused question for the next round.
Exactly.
I like that. So you're kind of like peeling back the layers.
It's like peeling back the layers of an onion.
Yeah, you're getting to the heart of the matter.
With each conversation.
With each successive conversation. That would be really helpful.
Yeah, especially for those complex challenges.
Where there's not just an easy answer.
Where there's no clear solution right away.
Right. You can use each round to refine your understanding and build on that collective knowledge of the group.
Exactly. And because you're constantly iterating and integrating new perspectives, you end up with solutions that are, much more nuanced and robust
than anything you could have come up with on your own.
Absolutely. It's the power of collaboration.
It's like you're creating a feedback loop.
Yeah.
Where each iteration leads to a
deeper level of understanding.
A deeper level of understanding and a more refined solution.
Exactly.
So for anyone listening who's feeling stuck in a rut, or maybe they're struggling to make their voice heard.
Yeah, they feel like their ideas aren't being taken seriously.
This 1, 2, 4 all method could be a real game changer.
It can totally change the way you approach group discussions.
Problem solving,
decision-making.
It's a simple yet powerful tool.
And the best part is, it's so easy to implement.
You don't need any special training.
No.
Fancy tools.
No fancy tools.
Just a willingness to listen to each other.
And a clear question to focus on.
Yeah, and that commitment to creating that inclusive space.
That's key.
It's refreshing to hear about a solution that's both effective and accessible.
Absolutely.
So, to wrap things up.
Yeah.
If you're ready to transform your next brainstorming session,
give 1, 2, 4 all a try.
You might be surprised at the results.
You might just unleash some creative genius.
Until next time, keep those ideas flowing.
See you next time on the Facilitators Deep Dive Podcast, your podcast on your way to facilitation mastery. Until next time.
See you then.